impact in the game.
Give me a break, need another life. Oh, need another life, life. Give me a break, need another life.
Well, it's the prospect of a very difficult day for newly promoted Southampton today as they come to an Emirates Stadium that's been rocking lately and an in-form Alexander Isak. Arsenal are looking to continue their form here today and it's live. Arsenal look to continue their winning form as they have been 100% since that loss at the Etihad Stadium. And it is back to full strength side for Arsenal today, with the particular point of emphasis being, of course, Alexander Isak, who now has 5 goals in his last 3, as the consistency is starting to become really apparent now, and Arsenal's justification in signing him is definitely showing. But also, they'll be looking for another clean sheet, particularly for David Raya. He's only earned one all season long. Neto just earned his second against PSV in the last Champions League match. It's something really to worry about because, like we said, the goals are now flowing in with another 2 against PSV. And here today is a true, real point of, and Arsenal really should win this on paper considering the lineups. And of course, with Manchester City and Newcastle United being the top 2 today, very much unexpectedly from Newcastle United's perspective, it could really turn into a 3-horse race, with Manchester United really struggling to score 3 points, with a lot of points dropped over the last few games. Full strength side for Arsenal. White, Saliba, Gabriel. Even only Kieran Tierney is probably the kind of odd one out, as it were, in the right back position today over Tomiyasu, I think, who made an appearance in the Champions League. Alex McCarthy's got a difficult task to try and keep Arsenal out today. And the man up front, well, the 3 up front are going to be Armstrong, Stewart and Diaz. With the front 3. A lot of teams are adopting this 3 at the front strategy these days. Even Mikel Arteta's doing it with the kind of traditional lineup he's got today. So, full strength side, even though it is Southampton, Mikel Arteta wants to win this match and try and keep Manchester City, and in particular Manchester City and certainly even Newcastle on their heels. And that's a good early save there from David Raya. That'll fill him with confidence. Only 1 clean sheet this season, David Raya. He was the Golden Glove winner last season, in which Arsenal came to within 1 point of the title. And Mikel Arteta wants to make sure of it this time around by not dropping points in matches they shouldn't. This is probably going to be one of them, to be fair. Southampton are newly promoted. And that gave David Raya a bit of a scare there, to be honest. What a run Mikel Arteta has been on. Only 1 loss all season long so far, with the loss at Manchester City. Nothing to really worry about. That was probably going to be expected anyway. But even then, Arsenal really did give City a scare in the second half. They came alive after the 3rd goal went in. Unfortunately, it was a bit too late to do anything else on that. And as we said at the top of the broadcast, Alexander Isak, 5 goals in his last 3 matches. He's starting to get a mull of consistency with putting them in now. And that is exactly what Arsenal will want. And that's why they bought him. The lack of goals was a concern going into the season. And Mikel Arteta got his man. And here's the table for you. Manchester City. And as we said, top 3, Manchester City, Arsenal and Newcastle United. Newcastle United have come from absolutely nowhere considering they lost Alexander Isak. They are not really struggling without him, to be honest. That matchup against Newcastle that'll come at some point in November. I think it's going to be at the beginning of November. Arsenal will be taking on Newcastle, and that really will turn to a 6-pointer if it keeps going like this. In the first 10 or 15 games, we've had 2 or 3 3-point, 6-point matches, as it were. And Arsenal have kind of lost a 3-pointer against City there, but that was to probably be more expected. But Newcastle, and as a good save by Raya, just out of nowhere, losing Isak wasn't really a problem for them. And of course, there were rumours amongst Newcastle United that they offloaded Isak to somewhat comply with the financial fair play ruling, the PSR ruling, but like we said, the lure of a top 4 side that is title challenging as Arsenal are at the moment probably had a lot more to do with it, to be fair, in Isak's mind. But Newcastle are definitely a surprise team of the season so far. It's a good throw by David Raya, and now Saka is away at the races. No one's going to catch him. He's surely got to score. Bukayo Saka, oh, he's missed it. What a golden chance, and Saka, you put your house on him scoring from there. Well, it does happen. He does miss. I think Arsenal will get another chance. I think it is almost a guarantee that they will, but like we said, they're scoring a lot more goals than they would have done last season. I mean, the goals weren't hard to come by, but they dropped points at crucial moments. I think that's Leicester City there taking the lead in their matchup today. I think in particular point of interest, I think Manchester City are taking on Fulham today. So, and I think that's one of the score updates we'll get. So we'll keep you updated on that as we get them. Here's Smallbone to Manning. And now Bertrand Diaz, and immediately blocked out by Ben White. As Arsenal continue to be really strong defensively over the last few games. They may concede the odd goal or two, and in Manchester City's case it was 3. But defensively, Arsenal have been really solid. And their goal scoring has definitely helped as well. Gabriel and Saliba definitely in the conversation to probably be the best centre-back pairing in the league. And I don't think many people would argue against that. And Trossard went down under a tangle by Sungwawa, and no foul given. I think he did get the ball, to be fair. And here is Stewart. And here is Smallbone. Oh, and what a save by David Raya. He was backpedaling, and he somehow got there. That was a shot and a half from Smallbone, to be fair, though. But look at this. Absolutely stunning save. I think at worst it's hitting the bar. But with Raya, you really can never be sure. And he made sure. Brilliant save. Diaz with the resulting corner. It's a looping header from Stewart, but unfortunately it's wide. And that save is why David Raya is the number 1 here. Neto has been performing well on loan for Bournemouth. 2 clean sheets in both his games so far. And against PSV, no slouches. And it was a Champions League match as well. So Neto's made good. And been the kind of perfect number 2 to David Raya if David Raya needs to be rested for whatever reason. I think a more permanent replacement secondary goalkeeper will be the focus for Arsenal in the second transfer window in a couple of months' time. Odegaard. Good save by McCarthy there. Oh, it's an absolutely stunning save by David Raya, and it won't be the last time we say that this season. Found a new lease of life when he moved on loan from Brentford. Found a new lease of life, and Mikel Arteta's first order of business was to make that move permanent. And I'm pretty sure that every Arsenal fan is glad he did, especially with Ramsdale heading off to Bournemouth. That'll be an interesting matchup somewhere down the line. A tale of 2 sensational goalkeepers. There's a wonderful play there by Alexander Isak Moreno. And it's beautiful play from Arsenal. It really is almost like the Arsene Wenger days, isn't it? They played some of the most beautiful football you will ever see. It was the hottest show in town during that very successful Arsene Wenger era in the 2000s at least. I was just a lad back then. I wasn't even signed to a club. Of course, the Arsenal unbeatables happened. I think that has been matched now. I think, was it Bayern Munich or Bayer Leverkusen or someone? I think it was in the Bundesliga where another unbeatable season happened. And obviously, we were talking about an unbeaten league season. Moreno. Unfortunately, there's no chance of that this season with the loss to Manchester City. Here comes Moreno, and he's made good on it this time. Mikel Moreno gets his second goal for the club. He scored against Spurs. He scored here. And Arsenal up by a goal to nil. It's an air of expectancy about it at this point. And it's a great strike. And again, it's the most unlikely sources from Arsenal. They're getting goals from all places. Decided to go it alone, Moreno. It was justified. He had Isak to his right there. I don't think Isak will really mind too much. And Moreno makes it 1-0. Probably to be expected against, obviously, newly promoted Southampton. It's a game that Arteta should win. And Arsenal making good on it. Up by a goal to nil. And that's a foul by Trossard and a free kick. So another unlikely source becomes a goal scorer. Mikel Moreno wasn't bought for his goals. But he's scored 2 in his Arsenal career now, I believe. First against Spurs and 1 here today. Armstrong. Chokwu. It's all about what Southampton can do here. Now they are in for a tough afternoon. Smallbone's going to shoot again. He's just wide. And Smallbone has had a couple of opportunities. One there. Still not over that stunning save that Raya did. He was backpedaling. And he caught it on the way down. Made sure that it didn't go in. Because there always is a small chance that that kind of shot will. It was dipping from Smallbone. It was a tremendous strike. And Raya with an equally tremendous save. Moreno's closed down that time. Half an hour in. I have to say Arsenal are on top at the moment. Defensively, they're looking solid. That's a good touch there by, I think it was Bertrand Diaz. And he's lost his man. And here's Smallbone. Smallbone's gone the wrong way. And we had that earlier in the season. I think he hit it with the wrong part of his boot, to be honest. It went the other way. And Arsenal could really make Southampton pay for that mistake. Here is Leo Trossard. Isak is with him. Isak is a lot more forward than he was in the beginning of his Arsenal career, that's for sure. He's definitely sailed into the setup now, headed by Rice. Oh, beautiful touch by Odegaard. Probably some slices of luck in it, but Arsenal do keep the ball. Oh, one too many passes. That has been Arsenal's kind of downfall at times, losing the ball rather cheaply like that. But immediately, they atone for the error, and Bukayo Saka forces a throw. Saka and Isak, the most common scorers in an Arsenal shirt this season, but they've come from almost all places. I think the only expected one that hasn't is Declan Rice. Saka fighting for the ball, and Conchal gets back there. Saw that developing. Bukayo Saka seems to have got a kind of second wind himself. He's got even better, really. He's not come from nowhere, but he's definitely got even better. As we have a score coming in. And it's James that has scored for, I believe it's Ipswich, and it's 1-1 at the London Stadium, the venue of West Ham. Declan Rice trying a long shot, probably one of the last that you would expect to score a goal, and hasn't yet. But to be fair, Declan Rice's game is not all about goals. He wasn't bought for that, but he certainly has been. Certainly was the starting block for Mikel Arteta in this run Arsenal have been on over the last 2.5 seasons or so. Saka to Isak. Beautiful play, Moreno. Just too many steps there. Unfortunately, Stevens was right there to deal with it. Everyone's getting a touch, everyone's getting a shot, everyone's getting a goal at Arsenal. It's such a team effort this year. And they're right there, aren't they? Level on points with Newcastle United. They could go ahead today, and Saka, just at the last moment, he pulled the trigger. Southampton was there to defend it. Obviously go second on their own until we see what Newcastle do. Manchester City a point ahead at the top. Moreno, brilliant pass. Bukayo Saka, there we go. 2-0. There's another goal for Bukayo Saka. That's been coming. Arsenal are definitely in the intensity now. Oh, and it's been coming from Saka. He's had a few surges forward, and now finally he makes goal in it. But again, it's a sensational pass by Moreno, who just sees it happening. It's almost a telepathic feel to this Arsenal side. They want to pass and move and quickly counter-attack with their pace. And they have a lot of it, especially in Bukayo Saka. And it's 2-0. And Arsenal, they're on a different level at the moment. More goals. And another 2 here today. And that's 5 in 6 for Bukayo Saka now. So he's now level with Isak as Arsenal's top scorer. And no surprises there. Here's Stewart though, trying to get a response as we approach half time. Right, finds Isak. And I hope that David Raya does keep the clean sheet after that tremendous save. That's a save worthy of a clean sheet. Isak's found Saka. Isak and Saka have already swapped roles. And that was almost a scorcher. Bukayo Saka. It must be great for Mikel Arteta to have interchangeable plays like that. And Saka and Isak, they can swap roles on a dime and catch defenders out. But it seems like under this new system that Arteta has implemented, Isak is getting a lot more forward now. At the start of his career, he was playing a kind of false 9 role, where he was kind of running back towards the centre circle and a bit out of position. And that's not really Isak's role. Isak's role is to score goals. And he's certainly done that in the last couple of games. So that's a good piece of play. Sugawawa, I'm trying to put it in. You can't do that against Arsenal. It's a poor attempt, to be fair. Should have made more of it. That's a poor shot. Only he'll ever know whether that was a shot or a cross intentionally. And there's 2 players there that seem a bit stuck as we enter of more EAFC weirdness. Of course, we didn't have any substitutions from Arsenal in the last game. Arteta wanted to make Isak come off for, I think it was Jesus, and there was a Pantano coming into the midfield, but the substitutions didn't happen. We got more EA weirdness today, with 2 players just standing in the box. Declan Rice. And now Isak, as we approach the end of the first half, and it's been another dominating first half for this Arsenal side. Goals for Moreno and Saka and all the rest of it, really. Stunning save by David Raya, who's had a save worthy of a clean sheet. Arsenal once again just almost unstoppable. Arsenal 2, Southampton 0. Welcome to the second half here of this Premier League tie at the Emirates, and Arsenal are leading by 2-0 and have been pretty much the force of this game. Southampton have had a couple of chances from small bone, one that was spectacularly saved by David Raya, and it puts Arsenal in this position. And now they're looking to quick fire start for the second half with Isak. It's a good save by McCarthy, to be fair. Here's Saka putting it back in towards Isak with a header and an immediate goal, and it could be game over already. Saka, or Isak rather, gets goal number 6. As his Arsenal career really starts to flourish now. What a ball this is from Saka. No one Well, Isak is pressured, but that is a fantastic header. Right out of the top drawer. Alan Smith-esque with that header. That was tremendous. No way McCarthy was getting to it. And the goal-scoring power of Alexander Isak puts him to 6 for the season. And Arsenal up by 3-0 in this match. And pretty much odds on to win at this point forward. Stranger things have happened though. But with Arsenal being the force they are defensively as well as in goal scoring, it does seem rather unlikely. And that means Alexander Isak has got back ahead of Bukayo Saka in the goals department. Because it seems to be like him and Saka fighting for all the goals at the moment. They're the most two common goal scorers for this Arsenal side. Gabriel, that's a great challenge. But it's been pulled back for handball. Strangely. I don't think that was really intentional. Arsenal probably feel a bit hard done by there. And it will be only be if Southampton score from this free kick. And Bertrand Diaz is going to step up to take it. And they're going to force the wall to jump. It didn't jump that time. And David Raya straight at him. I thought it was actually going to bend into one of the corners. Here's Odegaard. Odegaard kind of moving rolls while Saka tries to cut inside like he normally does. And here comes Saka trying to keep up with Isak in the scoring department. And I think that's going to be an Arsenal free kick. And now Stewart is going to come off for Southampton for Archer. So you would assume that Odegaard is probably going to try a shot from here. It's probably his only option. Comes off the wall. That's a great take there by Alexander Isak. Trying to put it in, but it's good defending for Southampton, to be fair. Well, next fixture for Arsenal will be against Bournemouth, and that will be, that's the match we just spoke of earlier that was coming up. That is actually going to be next. Bukayo Saka. Another shot. And that is going to be a tale with the goalkeepers. As it seems almost 100% certain that Aaron Ramsdale will play in that game against his former side. He takes it off Armstrong immediately as he chests it down. Odegaard has found Saka. Brentford have a 2-0 lead. Did Saka go down? Is it a penalty? No. That all happened really fast, and I was checking the scoreline that had popped up, so I kind of missed it. Isak. And so many Southampton players are hitting the deck. One that actually is a foul, and the referee is not going to book him this time. A strange common factor that we've had in our coverage this season is a lot of red cards. We had one against PSV, if you remember. And it's been very much Arsenal's opponents making it easy for them, to be fair, in that regard. Saliba. Here's Ben White. Ben White's beating his man for pace. Goes down. Free kick given. And another talking to for a Southampton player, but again, no booking. So Manning is lucky. And I don't know if there's a lot in that. Manning actually misses his man more than not. Took him down with his hand on the momentum. I think that's why he wasn't booked. Wasn't really anything malicious in that. I don't think any kind of foul is really malicious, really. Martin Odegaard standing over the ball here. Obviously the referee doing his painted lines that was implemented a few years ago. Whips it in towards Moreno, and he almost got his head to that. And Odegaard put it back in towards Saka. Nice, good pass. Saka trying to find Isak, and Bendenet was good he was there, because that would have been 4-0. Archer. Southampton have numbers here. Arsenal definitely have numbers back, though. Kieran Tierney has been beaten there for pace a little. And Declan Rice, who's back there to defend, picked up by Trossard. Wing play from Arsenal has been sensational. Most of the wingers have been getting most of the goals. Trossard, Martinelli in particular. And of course Saka with his 5 or 6 goals. Archer, knocked out by Gabriel. Arsenal, as we said earlier, probably in the running for the best centre-back pairing in the league with Gabriel and Saliba. And like I said, I don't think there'll be many arguments. Especially right now, that's then blocked out by Saliba. Now Archer again. And now that's blocked out by Gabriel. And now that's blocked out by Tierney, as Arsenal have a just tremendous defensive performance now. They've scored the goals, now they're going to defend. And they're doing very well at it. And unfortunately for newly promoted Leicester, Antone has scored for Bournemouth. And it makes it 2-1 to them now. And it is going to be some substitutions. Achoko is coming off for Dowles for Southampton. For Arsenal, I believe it's a triple substitution. Saka has made way for Wanyeri. Moreno has come off for Jorginho. And I think it's Sinchenko that has come on for Ben White. And those substitutions have actually happened. Unlike the one at PSV where they didn't. And that'll be thankful. Arteta will be thankful for that. And that's the greatness of this Arsenal side so far. They've been so good that their best players can go off and be rested. So it lessens the chance of injuries. Particularly to the likes of Saka. A lot of people feel if Saka goes down, the whole operation might fall apart. And that is a fair assumption, but I, for one, think it wouldn't be too much of an issue. Arsenal have had scorers and tremendous performances from everyone, everywhere. And that's a great clearance by Kieran Tierney, I think it was. Went to the other side of the pitch. What a hit there from Tierney, making sure it was cleared and then some. Armstrong to Archer. Southampton really have... No, they don't fizzled out. They've had shots. It's just Saliba and Gabriel have been tremendous. In the centre of the defence, that is. Bertrand Diaz is going off for... I don't think that's the player that went off. I think that's a different one. It looked very similar in terms of names. And Munchu has come on for Southampton. It looked very similar to one of the players that went off earlier. First touches for Wanyeri. And he immediately goes and gets the ball back. Well, Wanyeri is probably, along with the likes of Fabio Vieira and Lewis Skelly, probably the 3 young Arsenal players. And Arteta is looking to implement a lot more in the future. Tierney gets the ball back. Odegaard with not the best header in the world. Manning. You've got to give Southampton credit, they are trying. They've just got a formidable back 4 to try and get through. And then a couple more. And Jorginho here. Good tackle. Leo Trossard. Trying to play it over the top to Isak. Found Benedict instead. Benedict. Wala. And that's going to be an Arsenal throw. Trossard putting enough pressure on the player to make him lose the ball. And you have to say Arsenal do need the ball at their feet. Oh, tremendous from Isak. Going to pick out Jorginho instead. Can he score? He's off the post. And who put that woodwork there, as my missus would say. Dowles with the clearance. And Jorginho will be asking the same question. Trossard. Beautiful ball. Isak. You can see what he was trying to do there. If Arsenal's positioning would be a little bit better, that would really more come off. But it's not a bad thing. It's more of an observation. And that's a good attempt by Wanyeri there to get his first Arsenal goal. I think he might have already scored against Bolton, actually. A lot of praises being sung about Wanyeri in particular. And finally, a Southampton player goes into the book. It's Ochoa who just came on. Well, that's been coming. Referee's had a word with a couple of other players. Now, finally, he's enforcing the rules when it comes to booking. Arteta very animated on the touchline. He very much is a passion manager. But the fact is, it works. Arteta isn't one to... Not really a... He's very much a passionate man. He was in his playing days as well. And I'll tell you something. Everything Arteta is doing with this Arsenal side is working. And it is great to see. As we have an update. I think there's been either a sending off or something going on in the Leicester game. Because there was no score update there. So that normally means, in the terms of the game, it was the red card. And I was about to say, hold on a minute. Martin Odegaard has found Isak here. Southampton, no one at the back. And Isak misses. Seems to miss more when he scores, Isak, but at least he does get one on the board. And Leicester, he got 3 against Leicester, of course. I was about to say that normally it's around this time that most clubs' fans would start to kind of maybe show concerns about the manager. But right here, right now, I don't think anyone can have any concerns about Arteta. He's made Arsenal into a preliminary title challenger. And for me, I don't think in the world right now, aside from Pep Guardiola, I don't think there's much better than Arteta right now. And it shows. It shows in the play. It shows in the team spirit that this Arsenal side has. And it also shows in the league standings as well. Second to Pep Guardiola twice in a row. So, I think... Of course, there's no danger of anything happening right now. But if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd say keep Arteta right now. Because it's working. And I think the trust that the board has in him is certainly paying off as well. They got, like I said, they got their man in Isak and it's working. And here is Wanyeri. Players up and coming hugely in the Arsenal Academy sides right now. Small bone tackles in that. As we approach the final minutes of the game, the board is about to go up for 6 minutes. We've had it on side. It would be very, very cruel for Arsenal to concede now. Ochoa, what does it say about Araya? He's not had a lot to do since the phenomenal save in the first half. But he's kept his concentration. Some goalkeepers probably would get lax if they didn't lapse a bit if they have not a lot to do. But David Raya is 100% focused 100% of the match. He proved it there. Taken away by Shinchenko. Raya came for that. He's got back on his line now. And Chulu and Armstrong, and Gabriel blocks off again. And I think it's got to fill Raya with confidence to have Gabriel and Saliba ahead of him. Because they've been tremendous, especially today. He's Dowles with the throw. Wow, we can put a ball in here. It'd be nothing more than a consolation for Southampton at this point. David Raya, he kind of spilled that a bit. He wasn't the most powerful header in the world. I mean, he kept it out. That's his job. Yeah, he probably, Okay, that probably makes sense. It's just for me, at that speed, it looked like David Raya really should have been holding that one and then kicking it away. Southampton with a bit of a late surge here in the final, added on time. Where was this at the start of the game, you could ask? Georgina with a header away. Ends up with Maggie again, who took the corner. He's kept it in somehow. I think that went out, to be fair. But the referee has allowed play to go on. Here's Downs. And here's Smallbow. And here's Archer. And he's put it over. And that will be the end of it. It was a beautiful touch there by Archer, to be fair, but he fluffed the finish, sadly, for him. And that should be game over. I think we're in the final 30 seconds here. Raya's going to take his time. Of course, he can't time waste, he'd be booked. That'd be really unfortunate. There's Rice, tackled by Armstrong. Nothing given for that. And Southampton come forward with Archer. It's a good save by Raya. And the Arsenal players are surrounding the referee. Like, why was play allowed to go on? David Raya, another great save. He's had a performance worthy of a clean sheet today, and I hope he gets it. A stunning save in the first half. And now a good one here. He's kept his concentration all through the game, as we said. Southampton having a very late corner. We're entering 97 minutes now, and Benedict's shot is wide, and that's the end of the game. Well, a late surge from Southampton. It would have resulted in nothing more than a consolation, really. Mikel Arteta's men had the game all the way through. 3 goals and a fantastic defensive performance by Saliba and Gabriel, and some stunning saves by Raya. It really was a team performance. A goal for Isak, a goal for Moreno, and a goal for Saka. And it was another 100% 5-star study performance from everyone in this Arsenal side. Arsenal 3, Southampton 0. It was never in doubt. So let's check out all the scores from the weekend and what that means for the Premier League table. Liverpool and Crystal Palace. Another scenario of drop points for Liverpool with a 0-0 draw. Our coverage today was Arsenal Southampton with a 3-0 win. Ipswich Town get a win on the board against West Ham by 2-1. Brentford beat Wolves as they continue to plummet with only 1 point at the bottom now. Leicester and Bournemouth was 2-2. Manchester City keep the lead of the Premier League table with a 1-0 win. Everton lost to Newcastle as they keep up with the top 2. Brighton lost to Spurs as it's all going right for Polakescu and Vareska now as he won for Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. More dropped points for Manchester United against Aston Villa with a 2-2 draw. It doesn't seem to be going right there. So Manchester City still up by a point. Newcastle and Arsenal still second and third, but Arsenal now go ahead of them on a very much better goal difference. Manchester United still fourth, but are really struggling to score 3 points instead of 1. Liverpool is the same scenario. Chelsea are up to 6th now. They were towards the bottom earlier on. Bournemouth, a very good 7th place, as the signing of Ramsdale has really helped out there. Brighton 8th, Spurs 9th, and Aston Villa in 10th. A good effort from Polakescu to bring it back and bring Spurs back into the top 10. Forest, Brentford, Leicester City, Fulham, West Ham are 11th to 15th. And towards the bottom, we've got Everton. Ipswich get out of the relegation zone for the first time this season. Southampton go in with their loss to Arsenal. Crystal Palace are just behind. And Wolves have only scored 1 game from the opening 7 and they're down to the bottom.